Here's my Openclaw personal assistant that I can interact with directly from Telegram, and it only took me a few minutes to set up. In this video, I'm going to show you the easiest, fastest, and least technical way I know to get an Openclaw agent up and running. Let's get started. Okay, so here I am on the Openclaw website. What I will do is scroll down to the documentation section, open up the documentation page, and then go to install here. And what I have here is the options which Openclaw recommends for hosting it. And from my experience, the easiest way to host Openclaw is through a service called Railway. Now, to give you a bit of context here, to get Openclaw running, you need to deploy it on some sort of server. And if you were to do it the traditional way of basically renting out a server, so from a company such as Hetzner or Google Cloud Platform or Azure or DigitalOcean, you will need to go through, initially before you can install Openclaw, you need to go through the process of actually setting up the server itself, securing it, setting up user accounts, installing updates, all the required dependencies to be able to run Openclaw. So you need to go through a lot of infrastructure setup before you can even begin the installation process for Openclaw. And it can be quite technical to do that. Therefore, the easiest way that I personally found and I recommend is through a service called Railway, which is basically like an infrastructure as a service. That makes it very easy to deploy the server that will be running Openclaw and then also install Openclaw on that server container. So here is the option, and it also gives you a template which you can use to install Openclaw. So this is basically a template that somebody created on Railway that automatically installs all the files that Openclaw needs to run, and yeah, it does the whole installation for you, the whole deployment for you, so you don't need to worry about any of the infrastructure pieces. So I will put a link to this template in the description below, and then all you need to do to deploy it is just click here. Sign up or log in to a Railway account. So I'm going to click here, login, and you can either sign up through a GitHub account or through like a Google account or your own email. So I will go ahead and connect to my Railway account here, and then we will go through the deployment process. Okay, so I went ahead and logged into my Railway account. And then here, all I need to do to deploy this template, this Openclaw template, is click configure. And then I need to provide a setup password. So this setup password will basically protect the Openclaw configuration page, the backend configuration page, from being accessed on the web. So just set up a strong password here. And then click Save Config, and then deploy. And that's all you need. This will now go ahead. It will create a server instance on Railway, and then it will go ahead and deploy Openclaw for you. Something to note though is that you might need to, even though the Railway offers a free plan and also a free trial, you might need to upgrade your account in order to effectively run Openclaw, because Openclaw, from my experience, consumes quite a bit of memory, and you will need to upgrade to I'm on the hobby plan of what do you call it? I'm on the hobby plan of Railway, and with the hobby plan, I'm able to run it just fine so far. When I was on the free trial, I had issues with memory where Openclaw would crash. So yeah, you can go ahead, you can complete this installation process, and then if you find out that it's crashing or it's giving you some errors, just go ahead and upgrade your Railway account to the hobby plan, so it gives you more memory. As you can see here in my settings, I'm getting 8 vCPU and 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is plenty to be able to run Openclaw. Anyway, so this is now installing, deploying, installing, whatever you want to call it, and it will take a few minutes. But once this is done, then we will have Openclaw running in the cloud. However, after that, we still need to go through a setup process for Openclaw. To get Openclaw running and being able to interact with it, we need to go through a setup process. And this setup process needs to happen on the server environment that will run Openclaw. So basically, this container we have right here, we need to somehow log into it and run some commands on that setup container, on that server container, to set up Openclaw. And this is what I'm going to do while this is being deployed. To do this, you need terminal, right? So you need to open the terminal on your computer, a new terminal window. And what you want to do is install the Railway CLI. So Railway has a command line interface, it's called, which you can use to interact with your Railway environment, or in other words, interact with the servers that you're deploying on your Railway account. And to install this command line on your computer, you need to run a command. If you are on Mac OS, you need to run this command on your terminal, or you can also run npm, this npm command that will work both on Mac OS, Linux, and also on Windows. So I'm going to run this brew install Railway. In my case, I already actually have it installed, but I'm going to run it anyway, just so you can see how you do it. You just paste the command, you click enter, it runs, and as you can see, I already have it installed. And then once you have it installed, what you want to do is use the Railway CLI to log into your Railway account. And so the first command you will run is Railway login. I'm already logged in, but I'm going to relog in just to show you. So it will say open browser, you enter Y, which means yes, and then click enter. This will redirect you to a browser window here where it will ask you to give the CLI permission to access your Railway workspace. So you can either give it access only to the project that runs your Openclaw instance, which you can find here. This is the project name, which I'm actually going to rename. I don't like that name, so I'm going to say Openclaw tutorial. That will be the name of the project. And I'm also going to rename my little Openclaw instance here to Openclaw. That's it. Okay, so yeah, back to the authentication here. I'm gonna leave it to all workspaces and all projects, but if you wanted to only give it access to this specific project, then you would click here and then you would select that project. It still hasn't updated the name here for me, but yeah, this is the project that runs my Openclaw tutorial instance. So anyway, I'm gonna select all projects, all workspaces, authorize, and that's it. Now my terminal is authorized with Railway, with my Railway account. And the next command I want to run in order to connect, so what I want to do now is actually connect to this project here. And to do that, I need to run a Railway link, enter. And then I need to select my workspace, which is called main. I don't know why it gives me two duplicates. I don't know why it gives me the same workspace twice, but this is the workspace. And then here's my project, Openclaw tutorial. I'm going to select that one. And then here is my Openclaw instance. So I'm going to click Openclaw, yes, enter. And now my my Openclaw tutorial project has been successfully linked with this Railway session here. Now, in order to enter this server environment, in order to enter the computer, let's say, that my Openclaw is running on, I need to run Railway SSH. So now you can see that it has connected to this computer. Now, any command that I run from this point on, I'm actually going to be running it on this little computer that I have here, which actually you can see that the deployment has finished. The Openclaw instance, the server is now online, running Openclaw successfully. And I'm basically now going to be running commands that run directly inside this computer. Now, the command that we want to run is Openclaw. I'm going to actually run clear first, just to remove all this stuff. And then I'm going to run Openclaw onboard. This command will now initiate an Openclaw onboarding. Here it says, I understand this is personal by default and shared multi-user. User requires lockdown. Okay, whatever. Yes. And then onboarding mode quick start. Yes, I'm going to click enter. And the first thing we need to do here as part of a setup process is select the AI model that we want Openclaw to be running with. And as you can see, you have a bunch of options here, which these are all AI providers that you can connect to via API. However, from my experience, running Openclaw with API keys, with AI model APIs is actually very expensive. And personally, I found that the most cost-effective way to run Openclaw is through a ChatGPT account, which you can actually connect directly to your Openclaw. It used to be possible to also connect, I think it still is possible to connect a Claude subscription to your Openclaw, but I heard that people were having issues with that, and Anthropic was banning their accounts and stuff like that. However, I haven't had any issues with connecting my ChatGPT account directly here, so I'm going to select OpenAI, enter, and then this is the option I want, the ChatGPT OAuth, so enter. And it will give me a URL now that I need to copy and paste in my browser. So what this will do is now open up the ChatGPT authentication here. I need to log in with my account. Click continue. And now this redirects to a site can't be reached error. However, that's fine because all we need is this redirect URL here. So I'm going to copy this URL and then I'm going to give it to my Openclaw. So I'm just going to paste this URL here, click enter, and this is all it needs to connect to my ChatGPT account. So in a few seconds, this should be connected. There we go. And now it asks me to select the model that I would like to use. Now, so far I've been using this one here. Let me see. Yeah, I've been using this Codex GPT 5.2 so far. But you can choose whatever you want. I want to experiment with this GPT 5.4 model that just got released. So I'm going to click enter on that one. And then this is now where we select the channel that we want to use to interact with our Openclaw. Now, I think by far the most popular one is Telegram, so this is what I'm going to be using here. But you can actually connect any of these channels and interact, like you can use these channels to interact with your Openclaw directly. But yeah, I will set up a Telegram bot for this example. So I'm going to click enter, and then what it will ask me to do, now I need to say select channel quick start. So I'm going to click enter. No, it's running something, so I need to wait for a little bit here. Okay. So how would you want to provide this Telegram bot token? I want to basically enter the bot token. So I'm going to click enter. Sorry, I'm going to click, enter to bring me to this. And now I need to enter the Telegram bot token. Now to generate a Telegram bot token, I need to go to Telegram. So I have it here on my computer. And what I want to do is search for BotFather. So BotFather is a service that Telegram provides that helps create bots on Telegram. So here's BotFather, and what I'm going to do is enter /new bot. So this is the command that you need to run to create a new bot. And this will ask me to name my bot. So I'm going to name it tutorial for Openclaw 101. That's the name, and then I need to enter a username for the bot. It needs to end with bot, so I'm going to say tutorial for Openclaw 101 bot, and my bot has been successfully created. Now here I get a token, and this token I need to copy and paste it in my terminal, just like that. So now my Openclaw is connected to this Telegram bot. Now here it asks me to select a search provider. I'm not going to go through this process. This is just the basic Openclaw setup. There's a bunch of things you can connect to your Openclaw to give it access to the web, to give it access to different skills and stuff. But for now, I'm just going to select skip. Same for skills. I don't want to configure any skills, so no. Same for hooks. I'm going to press the enter key, the space key here, and then enter. And that should be it. Now Openclaw will start. And I should be able to start, I should be able to interact with it through my Telegram bot. Let's wait for it for a few seconds, and it should be up and running. Okay, onboarding complete. Use the dashboard link above to control your Openclaw. We shouldn't need to open the dashboard. I'm going to show you how to open the Openclaw dashboard in a second. But let me just go to the bot here. This is the link. The link for the bot is provided in this confirmation message from BotFather. So just click that and then click Start. And this should initiate the Openclaw bot. Now, if you don't get anything here, which is the case for me, what I found is that you first need to actually open the dashboard. And to open the dashboard, what you will need to do is go to your Railway project here, click on the Openclaw instance, and then this is the link which we can use to access the dashboard. However, there is a little change you need to make to the settings here. You need to go to the public networking here, and you need to change the port from 3000 to 8080, because that's the port that the dashboard is configured to listen to. So now that we made that change, we can click on this link, and it will take us to this login page where here's where you need to enter the password that you entered at that initial step when we were deploying the Openclaw template on Railway. You had to enter a password, so you need to go back and find that you need to remember, of course, that password, and then enter it here and click login, and this should now open up the Openclaw dashboard. That's the dashboard right here. Now, we could use Openclaw directly from this dashboard here, and it actually has a chat window. But there's another step that we need to go through. There's a configuration that you need to go through to enable this, which I can cover in another video if you want. For now, I just wanted to to open up this dashboard, because I found that in order to get the Telegram bot running, you first need to open that dashboard. So now I'm going to go back to Telegram. I'm going to run the start command again. And you can see now Openclaw responds. And it responds with this, with a code, right? It responds with a pairing code, which we actually need to pass. We need to run another terminal command here in order to pair this, Telegram session with our Openclaw instance. And the command we need to run is actually right here. This is the command you need to copy, and then you need to paste it in your terminal. This will approve the connection between the Telegram channel and the Openclaw instance. And now if I go in here and say hello, it should respond. Yes, there we go. So this is the, now we're interacting with our Openclaw instance. So we can go ahead and this is the initial setup. So whenever you're starting off, when you're initializing an interaction with your Openclaw agent, it always asks you to give it information about who you want it to be, right? So what would you like to call this agent? What should it call you, right? So what's your name or whatever name you want to use? And what would you like to, how you want it to interact with you, what you would like it to do, right? So if you want to have like a personal assistant, you know, explain to it that I want you to be a personal assistant and so on. And yeah, basically shape its character. So I'm going to say that I want you, I am Dimitris and you are assisty. I'm going to call it assisty. Your job, or you are my personal assistant agent, and your job is to help me plan my life, do research, complete tasks, and keep me accountable. Then I can tell it that I want it to be calm and professional, like basically shape its character here. And yeah, I'll start with this. So now every time you see typing at the top here, it means that the bot, the agent is doing something. So it received the message and now it's processing the message. I'll save that into the workspace and retire the Bootstrap file. So future sessions start with the right identity. It says Git doesn't have author name, email configured. Okay, fine, nice, logged. So you will notice that sometimes it sends you messages that don't really make sense, or you don't really have much context on what that means. This is basically its thinking, right? So while you ask it to do something, it might also give you information about its thought process and what it's doing behind the scenes, but that doesn't really matter. What you care about is the final message that you receive from it, which usually tells you like the outcome. So the outcome here is that it has logged the information that I gave it. It's telling me who I am, who it is, and yeah, what it did. And it's asking for some follow-up questions. So what do you want to do to tackle first? I'll say I want you to set up a reminder that I need to go shopping tomorrow. Please remind me at 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. New York City time zone. setting a one-shot reminder for tomorrow at 8 a.m. New York time and pointing delivery back to this Telegram channel. Done. It set up the reminder. It set up the schedule. If you want, I can also set a second backup reminder for later in the day. I don't need to respond to every suggestion that it gives me. But yeah, you get the idea. Now I have my own personal assistant here, which I can continue developing. I can start asking it to do all sorts of things for me. But I'm not going to go through too in depth on the use cases here. For this example, I just wanted to focus on for this video, I wanted to focus on the actual setup of Openclaw and getting it up and running. And yeah, let me know below in the comments if you want to see something specific, if there is specific use cases that you would like to see me build with Openclaw. I have many ideas for videos, and I will be recording some more videos in the future. But yeah, it's always helpful to know what you actually want to see. Yeah, also if you have any questions, let me know below. I will be very happy to help. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope this is useful, and I'm going to see you on the next one.